Hi, it's Kitty Blue. I am doing the SD size posability comparisons on different sculpts, Obitsu, Dollfie Dream, Angelsdoll, and several different body types of the Resinsoul and Bobobie. So there is doll nudity in this as well, and I apologize. I just want you to see the joint systems and the different issues that I've had posing this size of doll, specifically the Resinsoul dolls and the Bobobie dolls, which is the majority of what I have. But let's get started. We're going to do the Obitsu first, which is the Obitsu 50 centimeters. They have an internal skeletal system, so they're a little bit different than the strung dolls. So they can pretty much do like almost any poses. They can bend pretty well and not flop around. They do have magnets in their feet that you can attach them to metal plates so that you can pose them in all kinds of crazy different ways. They will stand though on flat surfaces as well. She wobbled there for a second. As far as sitting, I mean, like I said, these dolls are very posable. You can just plop them down and sit them, and you can bend them over. She's made with a very soft vinyl. The Obitsu Yamato is the same. It's got the same internal skeletal system, and the same joint system. So she pretty much is the exact same as the normal 50 centimeter Obitsu. So we're not going to take too much time with her. This is the Dollfie Dream Dynamite. She is also made out of vinyl. The vinyl on her is a little bit thicker. It's not as squishy as the Obitsu. I always have problems with the knees wanting to collapse like this. And I'm trying to get her to stand. A lot of people prefer putting them on a doll stand for stability, but you can get them to stand. They're pretty much similar to the Obitsus, where you can just really pose them in a lot of different ways. I haven't worked too much with both of them with my vinyl dolls, so I don't know as far as like how crazy of poses and who can do what the best as far as the Dollfies and the Obitsus. Let's go on to our resin dolls, which the first up is 50 centimeter Bobobie. He is very loose. He's got very thin strings in, so with thicker strings I think he'd be much better. What I don't like is his single joint system, which is almost kind of squarish, and I don't think it gives him as much of posability at all. He also has his ankle has a kind of wedge out of both sides instead of being straight across, so you kind of almost like have a seesaw effect here, and especially when I'm trying to get him to stand. He doesn't like to stand. I can get him to stand like he is right now, but he would do much better with some hot glue sueding in his joints and with some thicker string. Yeah, let's see if there we go. And he sits pretty well. At some point I am going to be getting the 50 centimeter Bobobie girl doll, so I'll have to do another video at that time, I guess, if I get her. This is the Bobobie 60 centimeter doll. She has these round joints, round balls, literally a ball joint. She does have some old hot glue sueding in there, which is kind of nasty. It needs to be redone. She doesn't have them inside the hip well though. So this has a tendency to want to twist, especially when they have clothes on and you're trying to get them to sit. Sometimes it's just like very hard to find the slits there for the elastic to kind of catch into. And let me see if I can get her to stand before we do her sitting position. Whoa, she wants to slide. This is kind of a slippery surface here for them. And I'm not sure if she's going to want to stand today. For some reason, she is also wanting to twist. Usually I have this problem with the Resinsoul 60 cm girl, her body wanting to twist, and today, there we go. Whoa! She didn't stay standing too long. Let's see if we can get her to sit. The elastic is in the right place. And if she's completely straight, she wants to fall back like this. So what I do is I push her abdomen forward. She does have some hot glue weighting in here, so it is a little bit easier for a little bit of friction there for it to actually stop in that position. Without the hot glue weighting, it might slide around and she might just flop right back in that position and then leaning back. She does have peanut-like pieces in her knees for her to sit. Michaela here is the hoofed Resinsoul doll, and here is her hoofs. It was hard to see in the other video with the comparisons. The biggest problem with her is the hair on the back of her legs. With this mobility joint here though, what I usually do is try to push those the fur feathering kind of to the side almost before I get her to sit, so she's like actually sitting kind of get her in here so that she's sitting to the side like that. You can see the front view, however, everything's going to the side. If I was actually to move them straight, let's see if I can get them to move straight and try to sit her down, she's just going to flop because there's just not, she doesn't want to sit on a flat surface. She does have some hot glue weighting, and her elastics are actually probably too thin for her size, but she's pretty solid to where she's can stand very well. Ouch! I just pinched myself with her toes. Resinsoul double jointed body, the new girl. This is the biggest issue right here that I have with her, and most of the other sizes, or most of the other SD dolls, is that she is very, very swayed back. But I think it has to do with these like holes here that I don't think are necessary to be that big for the elastic. She also has kind of this gap right here in her hip, where either this hip ball I think should be thicker maybe to have her more stable. She's very hard to stand at times, although right now she's going to decide that she wants to. Maybe. No. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I have an issue with her wanting to twist her body that I caught on a previous video, but for some reason today I'm not catching. But as far as sitting, and these I'm not sure. These are like really, really long, but that might be the reason why that she can sit pretty well, because I can just plop her down like that and she sits perfectly. And she's got the she has both the knee pieces, which in my opinion should not be hollow on, or should not have a hollow on one end and then the this in the other end. It should be, both of them should be like this. Because sometimes this piece wants to twist and things like that. All right. Boy body is going to be the same way. He's built the same way with the ball joints here in his arms and his legs. So you just want to like make sure he's got a steady base there, and he sits. They stand pretty well. He does have some thin elastic in him. He probably could work better with some thicker elastic. And he wants to. He totally wants to fall backwards as well, like this. And with him, I can just push him forward, or push his chest forward, push his torso forward. It's not very attractive with this big ledge here, but it does get him to sit pretty well. Okay, Resinsoul 60cm boy body. Same issues, in my opinion, as the girl body, where he wants to lean way back like this. With some hot glue sueding, you can kind of get him to stick with the position up like this, so that he's straight. But you know, he's pretty solid standing. He's got the mobility joint, all the SD dolls from Resinsoul. On him, I think these are like too long. That's why he has a problem with the sway back. As far as sitting, he's a little bit uncooperative. There we go. You just have to get the right. There's actually ledges back here and stuff that he can sit on top of. Ouch! Just pinched myself again. Same thing with the 70cm girl. She kind of like wants to have a tendency to fall backwards as well. She's got the single jointed body. She's got like the peanuts in the back of her legs, which make them want to kind of collapse and not work as well. You can see this leg here is kind of pushing inwards because it's just not wanting to stay straight. She definitely can have some thicker strings. I'm not even sure if I can get her to stand. There we go. And she's standing. Let's see here. And she sits perfectly, which is awesome. But same thing. I mean, there's some big, huge holes right there that they drill into that, which I'm not sure is entirely necessary. And the 70cm Resinsoul boy is built the same way as the 60cm girl and the 60cm boy. And he really has a big issue with sway back, as you can see. He is not sueded. He definitely could use some thicker strings, which I am in the process of trying to order. And let's see if I can get him to stand. But once he actually does get to stand, he is pretty solid. I really like the fact that these slits are not like really, really wide and everything, but let's see how he does with sitting. But those bigger slits do have a tendency to be easier for him to, there we go, get him to sit. Alright, his legs to the side. He wants to fall backwards. Some sueding in the hip well inside might work well. He actually has an extra internal chest piece, which I think makes him not want to push his torso forward like this to be able to sit straight. But I think if I go in there and do some sueding, it might help. But yeah, I have difficulties with actually getting him to sit straight. So, nope. So that's the biggest issue I have with this size, is that he just really is waist. Even without, he is pretty swayed back in general, even minus the issues with the bottom of his ball joint there. But I think with some, like I said, with some sueding, I think he would sit like that if I let him go. I'm holding on to his legs. And it could be just because this chair is too short for him. Last one, this is my heaviest doll. This is the Angelsdoll. 72 centimeters. Get him straight. This is the biggest issue I found, is that this wants to like kind of move around. He's got like these serious kind of joints in here. He also has These weirdly shaped, the mobility joint here is very weirdly shaped to where it just doesn't meet up and there's a gap there. See if I can get him to stand. I'm running out of video time. He does very well in shoes. And there we go, 1 second. Don't want him to fall. So let's see how he does with sitting. He's a tall boy, so I kind of have to move his legs to the side. Yeah, he wants to fall backwards, like that. What I can do is either do that with his hip, or pull up and push forward with his chest. You want to kind of pull up and push forward with his chest because you can start wearing down like the resin at the top of his abdomen midsection there. So that is it for the SD body comparisons. I will try and get, I haven't put up the OSD yet, but I will be doing that in a while, or I might wait until I get in one of my other USD dolls that I have coming in. So thanks for watching, and take care. Bye.